Cassie.
And I'm Rebecca.
My name is Dylan.
And I'm Lawson, and we're here to bring you the CCHS news.
This week we had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Johnson about his opinion on the build-up to the Russia and Ukraine conflict.
We also had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Goss about the economic impact of this conflict.
This has kind of been happening for a while. Like, it seems like for the past almost a decade, there's always been talk about when Russia is going to expand into Crimea and into the Ukraine, because of the belief that that part of Eastern Europe has some type of heritage to Russia. And if you look back, Russia, even during the Soviets and even when it was imperial, was always expansionist. So it was almost talked about, even when I was in college taking Russian history classes, it was talked about, when is this going to happen again? When are they going to expand again? Because it seems to be that in their history, they are typically expansionist. So maybe historically it feels like it was always going to be bound to happen, and now we're looking at all the events unfold about how much the United States actually knew about, and the NATO actually knew about the invasion happening, and it seems to be that they knew a lot about how they were organizing, how they were mobilizing, and now it's actually happening.
I think that you'll see the biggest impact on energy. Russia is the largest supplier of natural resources in the world, and they have more natural resources than anybody in the world. So if you see sanctions and trade agreements that fall apart, you're going to see prices of things here domestically go up quite a bit. I know we've seen 7 and 8% inflation already, but this could kick that into overdrive for everybody in the world, not just for the United States.
The ACT Spirit Week, the week of March 7th through 11th. Here are 3 students to tell you all about what we will be doing next week.
Hello, Camels! On the week of March 7th through the 11th, we're doing a Spirit Week for the ACT.
On Monday, we're wearing pajamas. Tuesday, we're wearing a graphic, so wear a gray outfit.
On Wednesday, it's camo.
Thursday is throwback. Friday is class colors. Freshmen wear white, sophomores wear blue, juniors wear pink, and seniors wear black. Show out and be prepared for the ACT.
Recently, an engineer came in to talk to the CCHS engineering students about a future project. Here's Ms. Beaupre and Ms. Hellrick and 2 students to talk about the event.
Hello everyone, today I'm with Ms. Beaupre and she is going to tell us a little bit about the engineer that came in. So what was the event?
Last week was Engineers Week, and I teach engineering the last part of the day, Foundations of Engineering. So we had a couple engineers that came in just to focus on careers and opportunities later in life. So we had engineers from the Navy came in, and then we also had an engineer, mechanical engineer, that came in to visit us.
What was the benefit?
I think the benefit, especially with the mechanical engineers, students currently in the Foundations of Engineering, which will be Engineering 1 next year, are assigned a project where they are creating a surgical device. They're going to be programming it so that the device actually moves. So the engineer that came in, the mechanical engineer, that is his specialty, is he designs surgical instruments. So it was nice for them to see hands-on and have a chance to actually use the equipment, because it's not every day you can just play with ultrasonic devices. So it was beneficial for them to actually see the devices that they are going to be designing this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Beaupre, he showed us a lot of all the stuff he uses, and he built some of those, some mechanics, what they use, some of the mechanics that he made for the engineers, doctors, all of those things. He shows them how you can use them, how they work. You can work it by yourself if you need to. He showed us how you could fix the problem as well, make it better, and you can basically make it as what I am right now.
Alright, thank you. I'm here with Sadie. So Sadie, can you tell us what you found most interesting about the event?
Yeah, so I found it interesting how technology has advanced so much, especially in the medical field, and how they showed us how the machines work, and especially for surgeries.
Our juniors are preparing to take the ACT. This can be a stressful time for these students, but several of our teachers provided us with some valuable insight and tips for the various sections of the test.
Hi
Guys, it's Miss Dawson. I just have a quick tip for the math portion of the ACT. There's a big misconception out there that the ACT is in order from easiest to hardest, and that's not always true. There are easy questions all the way back in the last part of the last 10-15 questions of the ACT, just as many as there are in the front. Okay, so what I would recommend what you would do is do your ACT questions for the math portion in a 3-sweep method. So the first method, go questions all the way 1 through 60 and do all the easiest ones first. Okay, there's easy ones all the way in the back, and we want to make sure that you guys get those too. Okay, so 1 through 60, first sweep, go get all those easy questions first. Then do a second sweep, get the medium level, and then hopefully in that third sweep, all we have left are the hard ones. Okay, so remember that there are easy ones all the way back into questions like 50 through 60. Make sure you get all the easy ones first in that very first sweep.
Some tips that I give for the reading ACT: the more you read, the faster you read, so time yourself before the ACT. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes to read whatever you want. And then don't forget to annotate, underline those underline expressions, the first and last sentence of every paragraph. Underline any quotes, anything that's in, or anything that's in quotation marks, or anything that's italicized. That's also important. They're going to ask a question about it.
Hi, I'm Mr. Higas, and I am giving you a few details for the science portion of the ACT. Just remember, everyone, that it's 40 questions, 35 minutes, so you don't have a lot of time to break down each passage. But some of the techniques that I can give you is mainly looking for the main points of each passage. They will break down a lot of different studies that they'll do in there. And so anything that your English teachers have been mentioning to you about highlighting and underlining main points is a vital need for a lot of those passages. Because usually what ACT likes to do is they will grill you on what differences you can see between what maybe two scientists are arguing about. Perhaps if they do a study, how do they change the study maybe 3 or 4 different ways. So ACT wants to see if you know what has been changed, and can you differentiate between what alterations, maybe what changes were seen in the study. So, and just again, as always, make sure that you know how to read a graph. You know what's on the x-axis, the y-axis. You can see changes over time. You can even maybe predict where a future data point might fall. So if you keep those tips in mind, you should have a good chance to do pretty well in the science portion. So good luck.
Here would be my 3 quick tips. Number 1, over half of the test covers conventions of standard English. So review those sentence structures, your punctuation, your commas. That can really help. The second thing to remember is that ACT is all about being concise. So the shortest answer is usually the best answer. And then my last tip would be to remember to read through the underlined portions so that you can understand what it's asking you to correct.
The drama program is putting on a collection of one-act plays that they will be directing. We had the opportunity to talk to a senior student about this project.
My name is Brady, I'm here with Jacob. Jacob, can you tell us about the one-acts that the drama team is doing?
Yeah, Miss Lanica gave her select drama class the opportunity to kind of see what it's like to direct a collection of students and put on a production. So that class, it's like 14, 15 kids. We broke up into like 4 or 5 groups, and we've each chosen one act to put on. The date, I think, is March 18th. It may be moved around, but that's the date at the moment. I think it's open to the public. Anyone can come see it. It's our final. It's the other theater classes final, the fundamentals and drama 1. All those kids are making up the cast, and like it's just a cohesive kind of just unit for all of us, and we're all like in it together. Her stagecraft class is helping out too, so it's just a really cool experience.
Okay, thank you, Jake.
Beginning on February 28th, the baseball team started selling coupon books, and this will continue until March 14th. For more information, contact Mr. Schweitzer.
On Monday, February 28th, the tennis team wrapped up their t-shirt fundraiser and will later have a dine and donate. For more information, contact Mr. Swords.
On March 1st, the softball team wrapped up their fundraiser at Skyline. Thanks to everyone who participated. And make sure to pay attention to the announcements for the Donnie Tarns Memorial Track Meet to help support the boys and girls track team.
Each of these sports will later have a huge summer camp. This information will be available later in the spring.
Thanks for your time.
This has been your Campbell News for this week.
The media communications classes always appreciate you watching, and as always, show your Campbell pride.